Welcome back. Amid the U.S. tariff war, China's ambassador to Canada says Beijing is interested in increasing trade with Canada and even restarting free trade talks.
After the COVID-19 pandemic, the world economy has been struggling to recover, and that process has been further slowed down by the rise of unilateralism and trade protectionism. So the unilateralism and trade protectionism have brought more instabilities and uncertainties to the world economic recovery. I think the international community should stand up together against this kind of behavior.
Ambassador Wang Di says despite tense relations between Canada and China in recent years, trade volumes continue to increase. China is already Canada's second largest trading partner. The comments come just days after the federal government confirmed China executed 4 Canadians earlier this year over drug-related crimes, and as China imposed a 100% tariff on Canadian canola and a 25% levy on pork in response to Canada's 100% tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Margaret McCuaig-Johnston. She's a senior fellow at the University of Ottawa, a board director of the China Strategic Risks Institute, and a member of the Canada-U.S. Commission on China. Margaret, after years of tough relations, why do you think China is saying this now?
Well, it's pretty rich, isn't it? Inviting us to have a free trade agreement after slapping on $3 billion in tariffs on us and killing 4 of our citizens, despite the Prime Minister Trudeau and Minister Joly trying to step in and prevent that. It's bizarre timing. I think what he's doing is trying to put a stick in the spokes of the election campaign by throwing this out now, as well as trying to have an impact on Canada-U.S. relations, because he knows that we have a newly erratic trading partner in the United States. But at the same time, I don't think we're in a position to be switching to an even more erratic trading partner. Prime Minister Carney came out today saying that we would not be looking at China as an alternative trade, and I think that's the correct call.
What would your advice be to the incoming federal government, whether it's Carney or Poilievre or Singh? How do you think they should handle this file going forward?
Well, our trade with China is going to remain stable and, in fact, has been increasing even through the period when the Michaels were held hostage, and it continues to increase. And the reason is they want our resources. They are not a substitute for our products that we sell and services that we sell to the U.S. They don't want those. They want our resources. And that's why you see agriculture being a vulnerable trade area, because they can substitute with their own products. I think what the new government should do is double down on our Indo-Pacific strategy. And we've got a $2.3 billion initiative there. It's a fully funded program, and we should be looking at increasing our relations there and deepening our areas like research and development. In addition, we should be looking more intensely at Europe, and the Prime Minister was over there just literally days ago, talking to European leaders about deepening our relations there. We already have a free trade agreement with them, and they too are going to be facing American tariffs, so they will be welcoming potential trade from Canada.
Going down the line, do you think there's ever a situation where a free trade agreement with China would make sense? I know the last one fell apart over Canadian concerns over human rights and the environment.
Yes, and labor standards. I don't think so unless we see significant regime change in China. The reason I say that is that while China rejected the previous free trade agreement on those grounds that you mentioned, they are now adding other conditions. So they've set aside what we wanted the last time, and they say that we have to rectify our wrongdoings in speaking out on the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, and Taiwan. These are issues that the Canadian government of all parties have felt strongly about. They say that we have to stop talking about that. We have to increase our investment from China, specifically in resources, but also in high tech. They want also more energy from Canada, and they want access to our Arctic. They also want access to our auto sector. All of those, every single one of those, I think, is not on the table for the Canadian government. And that's why I say I think the ambassador has chosen this timing to intervene in the Canadian election and also complicate our relations with the U.S.
That's Canada-China relations expert Margaret McCuaig-Johnston. Margaret, thanks so much for your time this evening.
Thanks for inviting me.